Hi guys, welcome back to the New Key Order podcast. I'm Anthony, here again with Hector.
Yeah, I'm Hector.
So today we actually brought a special guest, our very first guest in fact. She's one of our old teachers. Her name is Miss Hamilton. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Hamilton. As Anthony said, I was their math teacher their freshman year of high school, and now they're juniors. And I was also Hector. I had you last year, right? As a sophomore? Years. Yeah. And Anthony was just freshman year for you. So yeah. Pretty cool. I'm excited to be their first guest and just kind of chit chat and have some fun.
Yeah, we want to. I think someone asked me what type of podcast we want to do. I want it to be like a conversation, among whoever is in the podcast. I don't want it to be like an interview, just us asking questions. We want it to flow nice, in case people are wondering what type of podcast we wanted to do.
Yeah, so basically not formal, and we want them to contribute equally, that sort of thing. So, in regards to the New Key Order, Miss Hamilton, do you want to go ahead and explain what your role is?
Yeah, well, to set up a club here at our school, we have to, you guys talked a little bit about the process in the last podcast, but you have to fill out basically a form with what the club's going to be about, and one of the things on there is you had to get a teacher advisor. So that's me. So my role is just to make sure that you guys are following whatever rules you initially had and initially wrote down on that form, and if there's any big activities you want to do maybe outside of school, it's kind of just my job to make sure that those flow well, and just to generally advise and make sure you guys are doing what you want to do.
I think that's pretty much it. I think we should talk about what we're what do you when me and Anthony pretty much asked you what were your thoughts about when we said join us, New Key Order?
Honestly, so when we first made this and came to you and asked, do you want to host our club? First of all, did you think we were being serious or?
To be honest, I thought you guys were just joking around. I know you guys pretty well since. I've known you guys for 3 years, so I thought you guys were kind of just joking around, or I thought it was just for fun. So I think when my initial thoughts were just okay, what are these crazy kids asking for?
You said yes. You're wait a second.
And I think I just kind of agreed because I was okay, sure, whatever, I'll do whatever makes you happy, sure.
That's fair. I mean, I thought that too. I was Miss Hamilton's probably going to think, oh, this is a joke. But, well, I think most people, when we told them about our club, thought it would be just, not a serious thing, which is why in the first podcast we said we wanted it to be.
Because I think most people thought we were kidding.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it was just a loose idea at first, but I think over time, we've been more and more committed. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I've been impressed because I've been seeing that commitment. It's been cool.
Yeah. So, we wanted to talk also more about the meetings that we'd be having. Ideas, if you had any ideas or suggestions on pretty much what we'd be doing in the meetings, which is, to clarify, it's Wednesdays at lunch.
Yes.
Right. In your classroom.
In my classroom.
In your class.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you could talk about, I really like how before you said that you want this to be a club where there's some academic things you guys, like a study hall type thing, then there's some social things you do, and then there's some community service. I would say maybe in the very beginning, ask the other people who are in your club what they're interested in at first, and maybe get some ideas from them. Because I think you might want to have a schedule. You might want to know, when is it going to be a day where we're all just kind of hanging out during club time versus when is it going to be a day where it's more academic. I don't know. That's just my thoughts, just so it has that organizational flow to it.
Yeah, I like that. So our first meeting next week, maybe we could just let everyone we create a calendar as a group.
Yeah.
And then that way we could post a calendar on our website and everyone knows when we're having social events outside of school, maybe even because we are going to try to find community service people who will give us hours. And also in terms of academics, we can at lunch, we could help tutor, I guess. The kids who know what they're doing can help the other kids who have no marks.
Definitely.
Things like that.
But yeah, I mean, I think for that, since it'll be pretty much we'll have a tutoring system in a way, but I feel like it's like a job, right? So the people who would come in, we talked about the ranks and how that would work. I think that, we could talk about that right now. That could be if you're a higher rank, you can help out the students because we know that you guys would do a good job. So it'd be
perhaps that's how you get the higher rank.
Yeah. You just tutor, because the more you contribute, I feel like that's how you get a better rank. I mean, right now we only have, I think we said last time we had one Z rank person, which is almost as much authority as a warden. But obviously, not all of it, because it's just a Z rank and warden is the leader, right? So I think that makes more sense.
Like, let's say you go to community service hours and you give time off your weekend, like that would help rank you up, along with tutoring and, I mean, social events too, I guess. Like, if we have a potluck and you bring food, that's contributing to our club.
Yeah, just like, I think anything you bring, or anything you bring to the new key order is a good contribution. We'll, like, take that into consideration when, or you could, I guess, be like, oh, when you're in a job, you're asking for a promotion, or we would recognize that you did some good stuff and we'd rank you up. I think that's a pretty good idea. What do you think?
I think that sounds good. I like how it's a system that's encouraging people to contribute to the club. I think that's good. It will help build community. My only worry though is, what about, like, if you're having a potluck, what about people who maybe they can't bring something, or they can't go to that beach cleanup that's on Saturday because of something else?
Yeah, so we're going to try to have a lot of opportunities. I mean, we're not like forcing you to bring food. You can still come to any social event if you want. We're just saying, like, the people who do want to contribute, that's who we'll be ranking up, because they're, like, putting in the effort. And if you can't that time, I mean, everyone has some sort of skill or some way to contribute.
Nice, I like
that. So
there'll
be a lot of moments where you can.
Yeah, cool. And I feel like us as the wardens, and, like, I don't know, maybe you as your advisor, like, since we're the ones, like, hosting it, we'd obviously we'd set an example. We'd bring stuff, just in case, like, oh, some kids, they didn't bring anything. That's fine. We have enough for everyone.
Yeah.
We don't want to, like, be like, oh, sorry, you didn't bring anything, so you're not going to get as much as the other people.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be a good idea, wouldn't be a good, like, I guess, how we want our club to be looked at.
Right.
We want to give people a chance to still rank up, even if they don't have the time to do it as often as someone who has, like, I don't know, a bunch of free time, and they just use all of it to help out the club.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there's something important we kind of need to discuss with Ms. Hamilton too. I don't think you've been made aware of this yet. You know what I'm talking about, Hector?
Yeah.
The Key Club beef has some
beef. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it beef, like maybe quote unquote beef, but basically, actually, I think you should explain this.
All right. Well, first, are you aware of what people say about Key Club and the new key order?
No.
You haven't heard any talk at all? No?
All I know is that when you guys first started, or first trying to make this club going, there was some issues with the name, was a little bit too similar to Key Club, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that too.
Yeah, so I'll try to explain it the best I can. Pretty much, okay, when we were first making the club, we got our inspiration from Key Club for the word key in it, They're a big club, and we're like, we could use, like, the word key because it sounds cool in our thing. And I actually messaged the leader of Key Club and, like, talked to them about, like, because this is after, like, I messaged them after someone has said something about our club that wasn't correct, like what I mentioned on the last podcast. I didn't say names. Obviously, I'm not going to say names, but someone said something, so I tried to fix it, clear things up. So I went to the leader, and I'm like, so, we're not trying to do anything bad. We're just a small little club trying to, get big, because that's our goal. We want to become as big and maybe bigger than Key Club, all right? Obviously, whenever you're making a club or anything like that, you should strive to be, like, great, That's, like, a pretty obvious thing, right?
Yeah, to kind of build on what Hector is saying, they're under the impression that we're trying to replace Key Club, steal it. Like, some people have been saying we're trying to steal their members and try to become a new Key Club. But, like, that wasn't our goal to begin with, and we're just trying to become our own thing. We just have, the only thing we have in common is pretty much the word key. So, yeah.
Yeah, and since, like, we feel that some people have been saying some stuff like, oh, you're specifically targeting Key Club members and getting them on our club, which is not at all true, okay? We have friends who are also in Key Club.
There's just some overlap.
Yeah, there's just some overlap. And, we also have some people, like I mentioned Raul in the last podcast. He's like our big advertising guy. He gets everyone to...
he's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, by the way. Shout out to Raul about our club. So, like, he kind of... I don't know. He shouted us out on, like, his social media and stuff. And some people were like, whoa, bro, don't do that. You're part of Key Club. That's sort of, like, betraying us, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, like, not have that, what people think. We're trying to get people in Key Club to be on here to, like, clarify some stuff. But they're like, no, we don't want to, like, be in the podcast because that would betray the Key Club. And so we're, like, telling them, you know, if like, okay, I'm not saying like force you to be on it, but if you're like saying no because of that reason, then you're sort of making this drama a reality when there's no actual drama.
Right.
I don't think there is.
Because the whole concept of betraying a club by going to another club is just, it doesn't really make any sense. Because we don't want them to stop going to Key Club. We just also, like, because we can have people who are in this club and that club.
Yeah.
Like, you can be in more than one club. There's no issues with that. And so we're trying to tell them, like, we want to close the gap, maybe even unite, like, do community service events together. And so that's why we want to get at least their leader on a podcast eventually so we can talk about the problems. But yeah, for now, what are your opinions on this, Ms. Hamilton?
Well, I like how you guys are sounds like you're putting in a lot of effort to try and make it clear that you're not all about taking over this other club. It's just you were perhaps inspired by this other club, or just it sparked some interest in you. And I think that from the most part, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you guys are dealing with it in like a mature way. I like the idea that you're trying to get people from Key Club on here to just like really explain, like, trust me, this isn't some kind of sabotage. We're not trying to undermine any clubs here. So I think that's pretty good that you're doing that. And I like the idea of potentially doing community service together, because the whole point of community service is to do some good, and it would just means more people be doing it, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it. Yeah, I think we've cleared everything, right? Yeah,
we can talk more about this if
there's still problems, right?
If there is still problems,
like after this podcast,
hopefully some of them will. I know some members in Key Club do listen to our podcast, which is good. Shout out to you guys. So hopefully you guys can pass the message on to the people who run Key Club and
the people who have the wrong idea about our club.
Yeah, so maybe just clarify, because I'm sure you guys already know that we don't mean any harm.
Yeah, obviously not. I mean, it's just we're literally just have like 20 members. Okay, we're trying to work our way up, not be shut down by the higher power, I guess. That sounds a little weird, but I think you get the point. Yeah. All right, I think we've talked enough about the fake beef, you know. We should get back to our guest, okay, you, Miss Hamilton. So, Anthony, didn't you have...
Oh, yeah, so we kind of want to talk to you. You know, you're a teacher here, and not like we kind of want to know what you think about the school as a teacher's point of view.
Yeah, because like us, or like... Sorry, don't mean to like cut you off. You're about to say something just really quick.
Yeah.
Like us, for me, there's like people who say, oh, I don't like the no mark system, or like the teachers, they make you do it alone and learn yourself. Like I personally think it's a great system and everything works perfect. Like for me, I like it, and you know I can work with it. We just want to know like what you think in your point of view.
Yeah. Well, as an educator, I love working here at Del Lago. I love all the systems we have here, including you brought up the no mark system. I think it's a great opportunity just to make it clear that the most important thing is learning. And so you learn something for a unit in math, for example, and let's say then there's the test. You take the test and you didn't pass it. It just means that you get extra time to relearn that material. And I think that's important because we just want you guys to learn. And I think it's really great how you guys all travel in with the same group of people, the same cohort each day. Because I see as a teacher, you guys really do form like a family like unit, which I think is awesome. You guys all become like a community. So it's really nice. I like that it's a small school because I feel like I know most of the scholars here. And I love it. I really, really feel lucky to work here.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, like compared to the school that I went to before with only like 80 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there wasn't many people there. So like compared to that, coming here was like a big step because there's like so many people. Okay, I asked other people like, well, dude, this is such a big school. And they're like, nah, dude, my middle school was like, you know, pretty much this. All right. So I'm like, it's not like something that I'm used to. Right.
Yeah.
So, but I like it because, you know.
Was it overwhelming for you when you first came here?
Well, I mean, I had to sort of like follow someone around for like a few weeks just so I understood.
To get used to it.
Yeah, but I think most people did that.
Yeah.
Well, for me, when I first came here, I like strictly only talked to kids from Rincon, where I went to middle school.
Yeah.
Because I was way too shy to like talk to anyone else. So I think most people experience something along those lines. And in terms of like enjoying the school, I think the school is really great. Because I know there are kids who complain about the no mark system, and it doesn't really make sense. Because all the no mark system does is allow you to retake something that you didn't pass the first time. So it doesn't hurt you in any way. It just gives you more opportunities to like do better in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of funny, a bit dumb, I guess, because they're like, I don't like the no mark system, and I'm over here thinking, you know, I don't understand why you don't like the no mark system. They literally give you so much time to do everything, and you know, you don't understand it the first time, like, you know, you guys said, you know, not yet, right?
Yeah.
You can still keep trying.
Yeah.
Okay. In most schools, you get one chance and it's over.
Yeah.
I don't mean to like put myself in the bottom, but like, I don't think I would have survived if I went to a different high school, you know, because I procrastinate, okay, because I don't particularly enjoy doing homework and stuff like that, but I still get my stuff done.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I feel like thanks to like getting another chance to do the work, it's like so much easier.
Yeah. And I'm sure that like if you reflect back from when you were like a freshman, sophomore, now a junior, I'm sure that procrastination time is getting less and less and less, perhaps. Like, I mean, no, it's the
not
same.
For me, at least. Yeah. If anything, it sounded a little bit worse.
Never mind. I feel like I feel like I do see some scholars where they are a lot more on top of things now than they were when they were a freshman.
Yeah.
I mean, we have developed skills.
Yeah, you have.
For me, maybe not procrastination, like time management,
Right.
but like presentation skills.
Yeah.
Delago has a lot of presentation, which is good.
Definitely. And that's something that like that's important. No matter what career you're going to have later on, you're going to have to make presentations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like say, oh, dude, why do we got so many presentations? You know, I feel like it's not needed, but like now I realize it's really helpful.
Yeah.
And like throughout the years, you know, also with what you said about procrastinating, I mean, mine's been sort of even, but I've gotten better. Okay, I know I've gotten better.
Yeah, of course.
Like, and with the presentations now, I see there's a reason for it, and I'm like no longer as nervous as I was freshman year when I just stand there, you know, sort of shaking, hoping no one sees me. You know.
Well, it helps, I'm sure, with this podcast.
Yeah, this podcast.
Yeah.
It's like,
Also, like the reality is, when you're a freshman or younger, I maybe there are some kids who are an exception, but most kids just see a presentation as extra work. But as you get older and you start to realize you're gonna have to go out into the real world soon, all on your own, you realize like you're gonna have to have those communication skills.
Yeah.
Because everyone you're gonna be talking to, like at a workplace, it's gonna be a new environment. So also the internships here are really good. For those of you who don't go to Delago, we do internships in junior year. Like I think all 200 kids usually get placed.
Yeah.
And so it's a really good opportunity to practice working in a real environment.
And you'll start those internships really soon, right?
A couple weeks, 3 weeks.
Are you guys excited? Nervous?
I don't have one yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, I guess. Kind of nervous. I'm gonna be working in like a biochem lab, and I read the description, and it seems like a little complicated. So I'm a little nervous.
Biochem, it sounds a little complicated.
Yeah, I think they'll do a good job teaching though, because I don't think you need any science background to get the internship. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna ask my middle school. Like I was talking to, because a friend of mine, Ton, the other warden, he asked his middle school teacher if he could, you know, do his internship there. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but I should probably do that too. I mean, since our school was so small, I'm literally friends with all the teachers there. The principal, like, you know, we're buds, okay?
Yeah.
We always have fun when I was over there. But yeah, I'm going to ask if I don't forget, you know, to maybe if they can let me have an internship there. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be really cool.
Since I don't have one right now, and I kind of need one.
Gotta find one.
We're running out of time.
So what, you'd be like working as like a teacher assistant, or?
I mean, I don't know. I would ask them what they need help with.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's an internship. I need them to sort of lead me, I guess, because isn't that what the point of the internship
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you'll get like a mentor.
Helps you find something you like doing, because you want to find a career you're good at. But I think an internship is a great way to find out if you actually like it.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I also had a question for you, Miss Hamilton.
Yes.
So, have you always wanted to be a teacher? Like,
no.
No?
No.
I'm kind of curious what you originally wanted to be.
Yeah, well, I grew up my whole life. I was told I was just going to go into the medical field, and I was interested. I was interested in going to the medical field, and my plan was to be a nurse. So I initially went to college, went to San Diego State, and I started with getting a degree in nursing, and I did that for about little under 2 years, and at the same time I got a job working as like a math tutor at at college, and the nursing thing, it was fun, but I wasn't super passionate about it, and it was getting really, really tough, and all my other classmates were very passionate about it, and so I was like, oh man, I don't know what to do. So I decided nursing wasn't for me, and I had like a month where I just was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. And that's a scary feeling. Yeah, so I thought, oh, but I like this job where I'm teaching math. So changed to math, became a math teacher, and here I am now.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if you mentioned this on the years when we were in your class. I don't know if you told us that, or I just have like a bad memory.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. That's a cool thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it's pretty nice because I think when you guys are going to be going off to college in a year, a little over a year, right? And so now's that time where you probably start feeling that pressure of, what do I want to do with my life? And it's really hard at your age to make that decision. So I think when I decided I didn't want to do nursing and I switched to math, once I realized I want to do math instead, it wasn't that scary. I was like, okay, I can do this. People change their degrees. People change their careers.
Wait, but nice. What was your, was there a specific reason you didn't want to do nursing, or you just found doing math, better?
I just, wasn't super into it. And all of my other classmates were really into it. I took an anatomy class, and in my anatomy class, it was like a lab room. So imagine a lab room. And on the back counter was these two pretty much body bags, and they would and the teacher would zip them open and fold it back, and there would be a cadaver, basically a full dead body in there. And there was a man and a woman.
Real.
And real. This was not your Party City fake zombie arm. It was real, and it smelled horrible because they have to pretty much put all this chemicals on them to preserve them so they don't rot. And everyone in my class was just like, whoa, look at that. This is my life. I want to do this. And it's not like I was a little grossed out, but I wasn't gonna pass out. But I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to do this my whole life. Look at these bodies.
It's always good that that you had that experience, because if you ended up in the nursing field and then realized after you had a job, I don't like this, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think most of my childhood, I grew up wanting to be an engineer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just one day, I can't remember why, but I just changed my mind. And then after that, I wanted to be a computer software engineer sort of thing. Mm-hmm. That's kind of when I was into computers. I mean, I still am. But so I took a programming college course at Palomar. And I realized it was very boring to just sit there and write lines of code. So now I also know that's not for me.
Yeah.
And so now I'm considering something else in the science field, which is why I took that internship in a biochem lab. I mean, it sounds kind of scary, like I said, but I'll see if I like it within a few weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel okay, you're telling me that your entire time you were you were thinking you want to become an engineer. For me, it was completely the opposite. I had so many different things because I was never sure. I saw something as a kid. I'm like, that seems cool. I want to do that.
Kids are very impressionable.
Yeah, and there was I was watching a bunch of shows and stuff, and they'd always be like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then I'd take all those examples in my head and be like, which one seems the coolest? Okay, I wasn't really thinking about anything else. Obviously, I was just a kid. I mean, you were talking about you were trying to do nursing, right? And I'm just thinking if I'm going to become something like that, I have to be able to stomach saying stuff like that.
Yep.
And personally, I don't think I would be able to. But also, obviously, with practice, you get good when you're if you wanted to become a surgeon and stuff like that. But I just felt for me, it might be, I don't know. I didn't think I would be able to do something like that. So I'm I'll stick something with something, because I was I need to, in the future, you need money to do stuff. And I'm how am I going to make the most money? And as a kid, I'm a doctor makes a lot of money. At least that's what I was thinking, right? I'm a doctor makes a bunch of money, so I'm maybe I'll try to go into that. I did some research, and I'm okay, I don't know. Okay, it needs a lot of work. I'm not saying, I'm going to be a doctor and it's going to be super easy. I'm not going to have to practice. But I realized that you do have to, obviously. And I changed my mind. Right now, I want to do stuff with art. Okay.
That'd be awesome.
I just think that it's cool because I like the way it makes people feel when they see it. because I enjoy looking at like movies, animation, stuff like that.
I was gonna ask, like, what type of art? Would it be like visual?
Yeah,
like digital art.
Digital art.
Well, obviously, like, I think this day and age, most of it's super digital. So I'm like, I want to try to learn that stuff, get good at it, and hopefully, you know, I guess make people happy. You know, because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That'd be cool if you could, like, I mean, I don't know if it's too late to self-land, but if you could try to find an internship at a place, like one of those companies that makes those visual arts, because there's a lot, like, it's a big job right now for things like graphic design, and they have it in like video game companies, and there's also like people who like animated movies. Like, I think that'd be a really cool job too.
I mean,
maybe not for me because I'm not creative, but
I mean, I try to self-land that, but I just don't know what to look for exactly. Like, I know there's those big companies and stuff like that, and businesses that sort of do that stuff, but I just don't exactly know what to look for. And then some places, or I just don't know also what to ask.
Yeah.
Obviously, be like, hey, you guys help me out with an internship, but it's sort of like kind of confusing, which is why I just said, you know, I'll just go with being a helpful person at my middle school.
Yeah.
With people that I know.
Well, you still have lots of time to figure out what you want to do. And it's not like this internship, this is the one time where it's going to totally like cement, like, yes, for sure, Anthony, I wouldn't want to work in a lab now. You know, you got lots of other times to think about it. So,
you can get an internship whenever you want.
Yeah.
It's just like, it doesn't have to be for a school assignment.
But I think it's easier if it's for a school assignment because you sort of have a...
Motivation?
Yeah, because you have to. If you don't do this, you fail.
I don't think I would pursue an internship either, like, if our school didn't make us, which I think is good that they're making us. Maybe even better if they made us do it senior year too, honestly.
I mean, they probably just make us get a job.
Go get a job, make money. Some money.
I need to get a job like this summer.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Me too. I mean, I tried getting jobs at a bunch of places, but I just don't fully understand. Like, I'm not saying I just don't fully understand how to do all that thing. Because I'm like, hey, Mom, do I need a resume? And she's like, yeah, you need a resume. And I'm like, I don't have one. What do I do? So I just sort of like signed up for a bunch of stuff without a resume. And obviously, I got a bunch of no's. No. But, you know, at least I tried. Okay.
Yeah, you tried. That's important.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's get back. So... when we were in your class, I enjoyed when you like told us stories and stuff like that. And since, you know, this is a podcast and we're talking about you want to like share like what was it called? The rafting, the canoeing?
Oh, the rowing, the rafting.
Sorry, the rowing.
No, I'm like, that sounds a little bit more fun, rafting. So when I was at college, I was on the rowing team, so they call it crew or just rowing, and I was what they called the coxswain. So it's the person who sits either at the very front of the boat or at the very back of the boat, and it's usually a little person. I know you can't see me, but I'm kind of little, I steered the boats and I yelled commands at the rowers, and I was on the men's team. But the coxswain was allowed to be a female, and it was really fun. I did it for a few semesters, and we had the races are called regattas, and we traveled to some races. So that was okay, cool.
A short story, actually. My brother used to do rowing for his high school. I think he did it for a couple of years, and now that he graduated, they actually hired him back as a coach.
No way. Yeah, that's cool. What high school?
Cathedral Catholic. It's in
Del Mar. Yeah, no, I know that place. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
So I've been to a regatta before, and they seem it's a lot of waiting around.
Yes.
Because they seem to take a long time to get everything ready.
They do.
You're mostly waiting for other people just for one race.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like it would be like an all day or an all weekend thing. But it'd be fun because when I first joined, there was 3 of us coxswains and we were all females. And so to this day, they're really good friends of mine. And then there was like 10 rowers at the time. And they're all males. And so we were a really small team. And so when we traveled together, it was just a road trip with your best friends. And it was really fun. I really liked it. And it was nice. I met my husband. He was one of the rowers. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one of the rowers, and and when I left the team, because we would have morning practices. I would start at like 4 a.m. or no, like 5 a.m. Like, it was terrible. We would have to wake up at 4, drive all the way down to like the harbor where our practice was. Like, it was definitely very intense. And then there would be evening practices, but I didn't have to go to them. Just the guys had to go to those because they were like it was in a gym and it was weightlifting. But so I had to stop because it was just like so exhausting waking up at 4 a.m. every morning while being in college, and I had a job at the time. But it was funny too, because when I left the team like got really, really good, which like I don't know if that's a correlation, but
I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, it was just a coincidence. Totally, just no effect there.
Yeah. On a side note, I think you might have told me this in freshman, or our class this in freshman year, but on your wrist, isn't it something related to fruit?
Yeah, I was about to mention.
Yeah. So I have a little tattoo that says, it's on my wrist. It's on my left wrist. It says power 10 and 2. So as the coxswain, remember, it was my job to yell commands. So during a race, if our boat was kind of like neck and neck with another boat and we wanted to speed past them, I would yell this command, power 10 and 2, which just means we're going to sprint. So imagine you're running. You're running a race. It just means we're going to sprint and do 10 strokes, 10 just strokes, I guess. And we would overpass the other team. So it just means kind of like give it your all, and just like fight your hardest fight.
Exactly.
That's a good life motto in the form of like a coxswain phrase.
Exactly.
Like power 10 and 2.
Power 10 and 2.
You
and
say that to yourself when you need some motivation.
Yeah. So that's that. But it's funny because I'm a math teacher, and so people see power 10 and 2 and they think it's like a math thing, and they think it's some crazy math thing that they don't know, and I'm just this genius math person that has this secret equation.
Obviously, since you're a math teacher, it has to be math.
Well, yeah, and it has numbers in it, so.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's a fun time.
Yeah. So we were like, before we started the podcast, friend of mine, he's not here right now, but he was talking about skydiving. And you're rowing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Would you ever try skydiving?
Oh gosh, no.
I think that's a big jump, Hector. From rowing. Well, first of all, not even from sitting in the front of a boat, then jumping out of a plane.
Yeah, it's not an easy transition to do that.
I mean, I think it should be something you should try. Since you're so used to being in the boat, why not try jumping out of a plane?
I mean, I want to survive. I want to live. I don't know. Would you guys ever do that? Jump out of a plane?
Yes, if I had the money to go and do it right now.
I personally would not. I think I would say my biggest fear is heights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that's like honestly my main one I have. So I don't think jumping out of a plane is at the top of my to-do list, but
that's how you get rid of your fear. You got to jump out of a plane.
Maybe one day I'll consider it if I have enough motivation to.
Yeah. See, I just feel like my body wouldn't physically let me jump out. My body would be like I would be sitting there in the plane and I would be like, okay, I know I'm supposed to jump out at this point. I don't think my body would let me. I don't know. I just feel like it's a very unnatural thing to jump out of a plane. But then I know that when you go skydiving, you're attached to someone and they have the actual real parachute that's strong enough to hold both the two people. But then they also do have an emergency parachute, but it's a lot smaller and I don't know.
Just in case you're gonna die.
Just in case. Either way, I definitely don't want to go skydiving. Hector can do that.
Yeah.
You can let us know how it goes.
I will. I'll let you guys know if if you hear from me, you know it went well. Okay. If you don't get a response.
That'll be the next podcast episode.
Oh, yeah.
How much is it to go skydiving?
I searched it up. $127.
Oh, wow.
167.
Oh.
Around there. Okay.
I
think that's just for one person, though.
Hey, I mean, your birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
I could.
There you go.
Ask my mom. Hey, Mom, can I buy tickets or whatever? I don't know what it is. You go skydiving. I think she'd
buy
say
a plane ticket and then jump out.
She'd probably say something like, "I don't want to lose you on your birthday," because I die.
Well, I think the reality though, the chances are probably extremely low of the actual death rate.
Bet.
I don't think I want to bet that.
I'm gonna look it up right now really quick because I'm kind of curious.
Considering the fact that it's a thing people do,
a fun thing people do.
Yeah, fun thing that people do. Obviously, your chances of survival must be really, 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 really high.
But I still have that. Obviously, you're still gonna have fears.
Of course.
My fear is I'll be that 1%. That ends up. Pull the parachute. Oh no, it came off, and I don't make it.
Well.
And that would be really bad.
The number is very low, but then again,
exactly.
Okay, 8 out of 1 million skydiving jumps will kill you. So if you were to theoretically,
I will be part of that 8.
So if you were to do it 120,000 times or something, you would die. really statistically you would die. So, I mean, I don't think that's not, I don't know.
Do they test? Okay.
8 out of 1 million isn't that low. In terms of risking your life for fun.
When you're in the plane and the person's like, okay, here's your stop, bye.
Yeah, you're literally just jumping out of a plane. Like, obviously, you're like acting like, why is it so, why are the chances like 8 out of 1 million, right? So it's like, if you take what the situation is, literally jumping out of a plane with a parachute, I'm sure there will be problems. Like, okay, so it's a small 8 out of 1 million, like you said. Okay, it makes sense why it's that number, right?
Sure.
Or is that just me?
No, I know what you're saying.
Just gonna say no to skydiving.
I think I'll hold off on skydiving.
Yeah.
But I recommend you do what you want to do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You do you.
Yeah.
Live your best life.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's enough to talk about skydiving. Skydiving is weird.
Well, I mean, because skydiving is a hobby for some people, right? So maybe what are your hobbies then?
What are my hobbies?
Not something too extreme like skydiving.
Definitely not skydiving. I really like, I used to run a lot, so I'm trying to get back into that, build up that endurance, just running. So I really like that. And I have a dog, and I'm obsessed with my dog. He should be on the podcast sometime.
Yes,
that's how you would get followers.
You're right.
What's your dog's name?
His name's Finn. And he's adorable. He's a big dog. He's like 80 pounds.
I like big dogs.
Yeah, me too. And so to go with the hobby question, I like to go on hikes. And when I knew I was going to get a dog, I wanted to get a big dog where I could like go on hikes with, right? I don't want like a little dog that's going to be, I want to be, come on, let's go climb this mountain.
Bigger dogs would be way better, have more fun.
Yeah,
hug the dog.
Exactly. Yeah, you hug them. Yeah. So he's huge and he's great and he's awesome.
Yeah,
I saw this one dog breed that was like insanely big. You guys can keep talking. I'm trying to find
So when we adopted him, we rescued him, and they didn't know what type of breed he was. So we're a couple weeks ago, we took him to the vet, and we signed him up to do this DNA test to see what type of breed he is. Have you guys heard about that? They have that for humans. It's called like 23andMe.
I think I have heard about that.
Yeah, where it'll tell you like your whole like where your family's from and all that. But they have those for dogs.
Like the ancestry thing.
Yeah, it's like the ancestry thing.
I found the dog, by the way. It's called a Caucasian Shepherd dog.
Obviously, our podcast people won't be able to see the dog.
I can't show you guys, but it kind of looks like a bear. Here,
let me see. Wait, what?
I'm trying to find a good picture.
Are you sure it's a dog?
It's a dog.
I'm pretty sure that's a bear.
It's called a Caucasian Shepherd, and I believe they were actually used to hunt bears, which is
bears.
I think so. I could be wrong on this. Wait.
Hunt bears?
Don't take my word for that. But
how do you train a dog to hunt a bear?
First, you train it.
There's just like a normal size one. I've seen these ones that are way bigger than that.
They're huge.
Yeah, that's like an average.
So for our listeners who can't see this, it's like this dog who. Okay, Anthony says it's a dog. It's a bear. Let's be honest here. This is a killer bear.
Just think bear, but like.
But dog form.
Or just straight up bear form. But it's standing next to some lady, and it's like. Let's describe its size compared to this lady.
If it were to stand up on its hind legs, I think it would easily be as tall or taller.
It would be taller. Yeah, that lady stands no chance.
I don't think... Okay, I think if someone just searches up the name that we just said, they'll be able to look for the dog. Instead of
Caucasian Shepherd, if any of you guys want to buy one,
Buy one?
Yeah.
We're not selling
I would want to buy one, personally. Maybe if I move somewhere out in Alaska, I don't know.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, I see people who have, like, the big huskies, like the furry huskies, but then they live here, and it's so hot here in Escondido.
Poor dogs.
I know, right?
I want to get one here, though.
Yeah, I like California, but I also like huskies and dogs like that.
Yeah.
It's a constant struggle.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It must be difficult.
I think one day I will get a nice dog like that. But
do it.
I think I got to go to Canada first. That's less remote than Alaska.
No, don't go to Canada. Okay, I'm not going to talk about...
Yeah, never. I know why. Okay. That's a story for another day.
Okay.
I don't know if...
Actually, probably not for the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alaska it is.
Not yet, at least.
Canada. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, search up Canada news.
No.
You'll see some stuff. Anyways.
It's a no-go.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I have... like, me personally, I've told a bunch of my friends this. People also listen to the podcast, but I've owned, like, 16 dogs in my lifetime up to now. Yeah, and they've all been super small, and I don't like... So I'm like, I don't want another small dog. But, like, my mom and my sister, they're like, scared of big dogs, and I'm like, come on, just give me a big dog, okay?
Yeah.
I need a tall kid. I mean, I'm a tall kid. I need a big dog.
Yeah.
I just think that would match perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, have you guys seen my new calendar I have?
Oh.
So I have this new calendar that's from one of my other students gave it to me. And so it's a calendar for this year, 2019, and it's showcased on this dog that is the mayor of this town in the mountains called Idlewild.
I heard about that too.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not.
Well, I mean, this dog has a calendar about him. And look, in the photo, you guys can't see it, but in the photo, he has a hat and a tie on.
I'd follow that dog.
I would vote for that dog 100%.
That dog for president.
Right? Like,
we just all stood behind a dog.
yeah.
I feel like if we had a president or a dog as a joke that went up for president of the United States of America, I think people would vote for that dog.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I mean, look at that dog. He just looks so trustworthy. And you can tell he's a good boy. Like, you can tell when you're like, oh, come here, sit. Like, he's
Dogs are
doing that in a, yeah.
Super loyal.
But yeah, his name's Mayor Max. So just wanted to point that out because I think I want to join his campaign.
Meet Mayor Max.
Yeah.
Give him a treat, in person. I feel like that'd be a great honor.
I would be a little like starstruck.
Where did you say he was again?
The mayor of Idlewild.
Idlewild.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that?
So it's if you like drive like 2 hours east,
that's not
northeast.
too far.
Yeah, it's really close. It's nice. It's closer than Big Bear.
I can meet this dog
I guess
today.
I know where I'm going tomorrow.
Right?
Or, yeah.
Right now.
I'm just kidding.
I know, right
As
now.
soon as we leave.
You guys should get him on the podcast.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That
We
is
could have a mayor and an animal.
Yeah.
Dang. I think we should
like
do
no
that.
joke though. You might think I'm joking right now. Let's bring him on
He
to
has
the
a crazy
podcast.
look in his
We
eye.
just gave Hector an idea.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we said we were going to get, at 100 average listeners, we would move on to face cams, all right? So, like, be one of those professional podcasts who had the people sitting down and then, they have mics and it's like that.
Yeah.
Then we get the mayor.
Yes.
The mayor.
Because you want
mayor.
people to be able to see how adorable he
That is true.
Exactly.
I mean, look at those eyes.
I mean, we could post stuff on our new key order Instagram. Okay, that's a thing now.
A little
People go
plug
follow
there
that.
you
Yeah,
just put in.
Since we have an Instagram now, right now I'm just posting like when we have an episode. I don't really know what else we could post. We could just post
That's pretty much it for
wardens
now.
and like
How many
stuff
followers do we
happening.
have?
5.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't
don't
really
think
shout it out.
Yeah,
really.
I don't think anyone even knows we have an Instagram yet.
I just put it in the bio.
So now you guys know. So everyone who's listening, you guys could go and follow that.
Okay.
Yeah, just search up new key order and it should pop up. Yeah, that's
I'll post the username on my story or something.
okay. Yeah, that works. I think we've had a long enough podcast. I think it's time to wrap up.
Wrap it up.
So yeah, I think we're good on time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, is there anything you'd like to say to the podcast?
Anything
Final
to our
words.
viewers before we close.
Anything. Say anything. I'm okay.
Well, I mean, I'm excited for you guys to be to be starting this club. Like I said in the beginning, I honestly thought this was just a joke.
I don't
but
blame you.
From sitting here and having this podcast and this setup with this microphone and all that stuff, like this is a real club, and I'm super excited to see what you guys do with this. I'm really curious to see what happens and where you guys go with this, but I'm impressed and I'm excited, and I'm excited to see what other things you're going to talk about on the next podcasts. And
Yeah. Hopefully
you guys
this
are doing
podcast,
some good stuff here.
Hopefully this one that we sent out now goes out well and everyone enjoys it.
Well, I hope so. I told my husband I was going to be on this podcast.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Another viewer.
You'll have another viewer. Could I do a little shout out to him?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
his
ahead.
name is also Anthony.
Oh, really?
Hi, Anthony. So yeah, that was my little shout out.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for coming on our podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was great.
Yeah. So just really quick, in case it wasn't made super clear, we have merch upcoming. Okay, it's not like fully out yet, but we're also gonna have a site. We're gonna put all the information, social media, everything like that on our site, and we'll tell you in the next podcast if it's out by that time. So
I
then
think the
everyone
merch should be almost ready to sell by the next podcast.
Well, I think it's ready to sell right now, but I'm still trying to figure out exactly how that works because I'm new to this stuff, as well as podcasting and how we tell people.
That money we're going to be putting right back into the club, maybe improve our setup, improve everything, because we want to expand our club to the maximum potential.
Yeah.
I
think that's pretty much it. All right.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.